Yo! Back at the thing again, this is G-Dro, reacting to more disturbing ass things for this month, damn it, because Halloween's coming up soon. 12 most disturbing recordings caught before disasters.
Huh?
By the looks of it, this dude is drinking, looks like vodka outside. This shit will be crazy, I can just tell. Just by this picture right here. Let's see what the hell is about to happen. Show some love. Link in the description below. That's pretty much it, you feel me? Alright, let's see what's going to be disturbing.
Tor Eckhoff, better known on YouTube as Apator, was one of Norway's most remarkable internet personalities. His channel had over 1.4 million subscribers and more than 458 million views, showcasing the breathtaking beauty of Norway's nature. But Tor was far from your typical travel vlogger. He didn't just film scenic landscapes. His videos constantly balanced on the edge of madness. He became famous for his daring and sometimes dangerous stunts, skating on thin ice, diving into freezing water, and even drinking vodka straight from the bottle in the middle of the snow. That's what his audience loved him for, his wild energy, fearlessness, and joy for life. One day, he uploaded a video titled, "I am not dead, I'm 57 today." It was his birthday, and he was once again doing what he loved most, sitting in an ice bath under the open sky, drinking vodka straight from the bottle. No one knew that this would become his final video. On November 22nd, 2000.
Yeah, this guy is legitimately the Norway crash out. I hope I said it correctly. Norway, damn it. Drinking vodka outside and shit. Jumping in the cold ass water. Putting 5-7 on their fucking eyeballs and shit like that. Surprised he didn't say 6-7. These motherfuckers be saying that shit all the time on the media, but damn it, this is some crazy ass shit. Let's keep watching, you feel me?
21. Tor Eckhoff went out to film another video at Jakobsdam Lake, near the town of Kongsberg, Norway. As usual, he planned to skate across the frozen surface, but this time, the ice gave way. Tor fell into the freezing water. Witnesses heard his cries for help and immediately called emergency services. Divers managed to pull him out from under the ice.
That doesn't make sense.
Afterward.
That
he was airlifted.
Doesn't make sense. Something's not right about what he just said. I don't want to keep type of nigga to be pausing the video every comment, but how can you be underwater screaming for help and people can hear you? I just don't get that. That is kind of fucked up. I ain't gonna front. Unless, you know, it was open space and, you know, that was just for edits, you know what I'm saying? Good edits, by the way, but that's fucked up. You were skating and then you just fell in the water? Or did you jump and fall in the water? What the hell's going on? The last guy from the last video did this exact same shit. He fell in, well, he did shit on purpose because it was some sort of ritual the motherfuckers do over there. Oh, this shit's crazy, unbelievable. Let's keep watching what happens next, feel me?
To Ullevål Hospital in Oslo. But despite the doctor's efforts, he couldn't be saved. He had been underwater too long. The news shocked millions of fans. Just days earlier, he had celebrated his birthday and seemed full of life. In his memory, people shared heartfelt messages and stories about how his videos had always lifted their spirits. His longtime partner, Tove Skarven, wrote a touching post on Facebook calling the loss indescribable and thanking Tor for everything they had shared together. Tor Eckhoff is gone, but his spirit, energy, and the videos filled with laughter, ice, and life will live on forever. In May 2022,
it's pretty messed
a YouTuber
up
from the channel The Sky...
All I got pretty much tell you, Joe, RIP to that guy. That was a messed up way to go out, I guess. But at least he had a good, happy birthday and shit, you know what I'm saying? Tragic. Let's keep watching the next event, you feel me?
Life decided to film a fishing video in an unusual spot, near the active Phoenix Dam. Warning signs were posted all around, cautioning about danger and forbidding fishing in the water. Officially, 3 loud sirens were supposed to sound before any water release, but he ignored them, thinking the chances of it happening were minimal. At first, everything went great. After a few failed attempts, he started catching large fish one after another, and believed he was about to hook something truly massive and unknown. Then, a loud siren broke the silence. He instantly realized it was a bad sign, and when the second siren followed, he knew the water could start rising at any moment.
I gotta go. Oh. I got 2 more sirens. Uh-oh. I'm almost back.
He ran across the slippery rocks trying to reach safety, just as the warning signs had described. Despite staying calm, he knew disaster could strike within seconds. When he finally reached a safe area, he noticed the 3rd siren never came. It was a false alarm, possibly triggered on purpose to scare him off the restricted zone. The water never rose, but in the rush, he injured his leg. Another danger the signs had warned about. In the end, he admitted he should have listened to the warnings and reminded viewers to respect safety rules and never fish near an active dam. 28-year-old photographer Jacob Cockle was known as a talented and fearless artist with a deep love for the ocean. His daring attitude and willingness to risk everything for the perfect shot earned him some of the most striking images in British photojournalism. His boldness soon paid off. Jacob won a 28,000-pound trip to Antarctica, but before leaving, he wanted to capture one final, perfect shot. Together with his friend David Rain, he went to Carnsue Pool, a location notorious for its powerful whirlpools. Warning signs surrounded the area, strictly prohibiting swimming due to strong currents. But Jacob wasn't the kind to back away from danger. To make his footage even more unusual, he decided to dive into the whirlpool while wearing a plastic horsehead mask. On May 28, 2013, at first, he managed to stay safe, skillfully avoiding being pulled under by swimming backward, a trick that let him feel the power of the current without being caught by it. But Jacob wanted more. He wanted underwater shots. Holding his GoPro, he dove beneath the surface to capture his final image and never came back up.
I mean, the light's nice across the water as well. Let me get down lower.
Nah, his homie's out of pocket. His homie said we should get down lower. They never came back up. Damn. Very tragic, disturbing event. Damn it.
When he didn't resurface after several seconds, David panicked. He searched frantically around the pool, even checking the drainage tunnels, hoping the current had carried his friend there, but found nothing. Moments later, he spotted Jacob's body floating face down on the far side of the water. David and a passerby immediately began CPR until rescuers arrived. Jacob was airlifted to the Royal Cornwall Hospital, but doctors could no longer save him. According to the coroner, the cause of death was drowning. It was ruled an accident, a tragic end for a skilled swimmer who knowingly took one risk too many.
Damn.
July 12,
That- RP the last guy.
2025. Krasnoyarsk Krai, Russia. An extreme sports enthusiast attempted a 92-foot jump into a lake located in a mountain gorge. The footage from the scene, recorded by witnesses, was soon shared around the world. The incident took place in the Krasnaya Kameny area, a picturesque gorge popular among tourists. The man leapt into the water from a high cliff in front of his friends. During the fall, he failed to position his body correctly and hit the water flat on his stomach. The video shows him trying to stay afloat for a short time before he stopped moving. Other swimmers rushed to help, but despite all efforts, they couldn't save him.
Спасите его! Плывите, спасайте его, блядь, нахуй!
Later, rescue teams confirmed that his body had been found and brought to a nearby hospital. It's worth noting that just a few weeks earlier, a similar incident occurred at the same spot. Another thrill seeker had jumped from the cliff as well, but survived with only minor injuries. June 27, 2019, Chicago, Illinois. It was a tense day at the 69th Street station on the Red Line. The train operator that day was a veteran. He had been driving trains in Chicago since 2006 and had never been involved in a serious incident. But this day turned out to be different. He got distracted. Security footage later showed him looking away from the tracks, smiling and gesturing with his hands, completely unaware of the tragedy that was about to happen. At the same time, 37-year-old Fallon Smith accidentally dropped her phone onto the tracks, right where an incoming train was approaching. The video shows her searching for it, and when she finally spotted the phone, she immediately decided to climb down and retrieve it. A nearby security guard shouted for her to get off the tracks, but with the noise of the station, it's unclear whether she heard him. She managed to grab her phone and ran toward the emergency stairs, but it was too late. The operator was still distracted, not watching the rails. Suddenly, his expression changed. He realized what had happened, but by then, it was over. The train struck Fallon Smith, killing her instantly. On July 3, 2019, the Chicago Transit Authority announced that the operator had been fired for violating safety procedures. Surveillance footage clearly showed he had neglected his duties, though it remains uncertain whether he could have stopped the train in time, even if he'd noticed her sooner. Her sister, Randy Smith, was outraged, not only by the operator's actions, but also by the inaction of bystanders and security staff who failed to help Fallon back onto the platform.
What the last 18 seconds of her life was like, but I'm traumatized. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed.
Sadly, incidents like this are not uncommon. Over the years, several serious accidents have occurred on Chicago's rail system. In 2014, for instance, a Blue Line operator fell asleep as his train entered O'Hare Station. The train overran the platform and slammed into the escalator, injuring more than 30 people. Despite advances in safety and awareness, accidents, though now rarer, still happen, serving as a harsh reminder of the ever-present risks of rail travel. Evening by the Sea. An open-air
last
concert
clip
in
was
Bonson
very
Province.
tragic. Once again, disturbing, messed up, and a whole bunch of bad feelings. But honestly, if that dude really was paying attention, could he really stop the train on time? Because a lot of these videos, when they're like far away, honking the horn, they still can't stop the train. The train, dead ass, still keeps going. So, would it even be possible for the train to even stop? I mean, it's messed up that she got hit by the train, but it's even more messed up that the people around didn't pull her up. They let her walk to try to find the escape stair. The whole situation is messed up. It's messed up that he lost his job though. I ain't gonna front. Damn. And shit. Let's keep watching. Feel me? R.I.P. to that woman that lost her life.
December 22nd, 2018. People were relaxing, sitting at tables, enjoying the music. On stage, the band 17 was performing. Nothing hinted at what was about to happen. In just seconds, everything turned into chaos. A massive wave crashed directly onto the stage. The lights went out, the stage collapsed, and screams filled the air. It all unfolded right before the audience's eyes, and the cameras were rolling. The footage looked like something out of a disaster movie, except this was real. A 16-foot-high tsunami struck the resort without warning. It had been triggered by an underwater landslide following a volcanic eruption. Most members of the band 17, along with their crew and family members, were killed. The only survivor was vocalist Rifian Ifan Fajarsaya, who later confirmed that he had lost all of his bandmates and his wife. The disaster caused massive destruction across the coastal regions. Hundreds of homes were wiped out. Hotels and boats were damaged, and both Java and Sumatra were severely affected. This tragedy struck without warning, a chilling reminder that sometimes disaster gives no time to react. In November 2019,
Once
a
again,
student
I gotta
pilot was
pause it
performing
again.
his first solo.
Another tragic event. Damn. I don't even know what to even say about that. Damn, that's really messed up. RP all those people. And it's messed up that the only person that was alive at that event was a dude that was a part of the band, a vocalist. Had to see his whole family and friends pass. Damn, that's really messed up. I ain't gonna front. Damn, this video was dark. The other videos, had some sort of, it was a little funny, but this shit is not funny. People, it's like really, it seemed a little more darker than a lot of other videos. You feel me? Let's keep watching good
flight in a light
freaking
aircraft,
clips.
A Cessna 172. A single-engine plane long considered ideal for training thanks to its simple and forgiving controls. But this time, something went wrong. While approaching North Perry Airport in Florida, the pilot ran into trouble during landing. The descent wasn't as smooth as usual. As soon as the wheels touched the runway, the aircraft suddenly veered sharply to the right, skidded off the strip, and slid across the grass. The pilot couldn't stop the plane, It tore through 2 runway signs before coming to an abrupt halt. Police and rescue crews arrived within minutes. Fortunately, the pilot survived and was able to climb out of the cockpit on his own without needing emergency assistance. He suffered injuries, but according to official reports, they were minor. However, this wasn't an isolated incident. Since that 2019 crash, several other accidents have occurred at the same airport, all on the very same runway. In 2022, a flight instructor and student were killed during a training flight. In 2023, another student miraculously survived a crash but suffered a severe spinal injury. And in 2025, yet another plane flipped over and landed upside down after a bizarre accident. All of these incidents happened in broad daylight and under perfect weather conditions. Many have since started to believe that North Perry Airport is cursed, as too many tragedies seem to strike the exact same runway. February 24th, 2010.
Tragic moments, disturbing moments,
Orlando,
messed
Florida.
up moments. Feel me?
Dawn Brancho, a senior orca trainer at SeaWorld Orlando, was preparing for her next big performance. SeaWorld was famous for its spectacular Shamu shows, where orcas performed entertaining tricks for massive crowds. But Shamu wasn't a single whale. It was a stage name used for different orcas over the years. The one Dawn was about to work with that day was actually named Tilikum, or Tilly for short. Weighing more than 5 tons and stretching about 23 feet long, Tilikum was enormous, even by orca standards. But he was also dangerous. Tilikum had a dark history with humans and had already been involved in 2 fatal incidents. The first victim, Kelty Byrne, a part-time trainer, accidentally fell into the pool and drowned after orcas prevented her from escaping. The second, Daniel Dukes, was an unauthorized visitor who sneaked into Tilikum's tank after park hours. His body was found the next morning. Despite these tragedies, the shows continued. Dawn had been with SeaWorld for 15 years and was one of its most respected trainers. Deeply devoted to the animals she worked with and known for her kindness and professionalism. She loved orcas with all her heart, treating them almost like her own children. But on that February afternoon, everything went terribly wrong. Earlier that day, the previous show had been cut short after the whales became agitated and began chasing each other. Still, Dawn prepared for the next program, called Dine with Shamu. In footage later shown to the public, Dawn can be seen working with Tilikum. At first, everything seemed normal, though small issues began to appear. The orca wasn't responding precisely to her cues. When Dawn whistled to signal Tilikum for feeding, he ignored her and kept repeating an earlier routine. Something clearly wasn't right. The she eventually ended without incident, and Dawn stayed by the pool afterward to spend a few quiet moments with Tilikum. Visitors were still nearby, some watching from the cafe, others from the underwater viewing gallery. Tilikum had been trained to swim up to the glass and greet guests, so Dawn gave him a hand signal to do just that. But instead of greeting the crowd, Tilikum suddenly grabbed Dawn, flipped over, and dragged her underwater. Horrified visitors watched as the orca thrashed her violently from side to side, just feet away from them. At one point, Dawn managed to break free and swim toward the pool's edge, but before she could escape, Tilikum caught her again and pulled her back under. The crowd could only watch in shock as the attack unfolded before their eyes. After what felt like an eternity, staff managed to retrieve Dawn's body from the water. Her injuries were catastrophic. Despite immediate efforts, she did not survive. The attack sent shockwaves around the world. Trainers were permanently banned from entering the water with orcas, and contact with Tilikum was strictly limited. SeaWorld was later fined $75,000 by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. In 2013, the release of the documentary Blackfish exposed the darker side of keeping orcas in captivity, irreparably damaging SeaWorld's reputation. Tilikum spent most of the rest of his life isolated, rarely interacting with humans again. He died in January 2017, at the age of 35, leaving behind one of the most haunting stories in marine park history. The next video was filmed at Xcaret Park, near Cancun, Mexico.
Insane.
The exact date is unknown. The helmets that supply air from the surface. Everything is designed to be safe and fully controlled. But during one section of the walk, a stingray suddenly swam right beneath one of the participants. Startled, she instinctively lifted her feet, lost balance, and fell forward, head first, right under the handrail. During the fall, her helmet, which was supposed to provide both air and stability, slipped off. The airflow was cut off, and for several seconds, she was completely without oxygen. The video shows her beginning to panic underwater. Fortunately, the on-duty divers reacted immediately. They rushed to her, lifted her up, and brought her safely to the surface. Later reports confirmed that she was completely fine. After a medical check, no injuries were found, and the group was able to finish the tour. The video quickly spread online, sparking widespread discussion. One witness, who claimed to be in the same group, wrote that she simply panicked when the stingray brushed against her legs and lost her footing. However, there has been no official confirmation of that explanation. According to Subsea Systems, the company that developed SeaTrek, there have been over 3 million dives in 25 years, and not a single fatal accident. June 30th, 2025, Bacabal, Brazil. Journalist Lemilda Frozen was filming a report near the Merim River, covering the search for a young woman named Raisa, who had gone missing a few days earlier while spending time by the water with friends. To show viewers just how dangerous the river could be, and to add realism to the segment, Lemilda stepped into the water. It reached up to his chest. He was explaining the current and the depth when he suddenly flinched. On the recording you can hear him say, "I think I felt something down there." A moment later he takes a step back. "No, I'm not going in. I'm scared. It feels like a hand. Is that her? Or a fish? I don't know." The filming stopped immediately.
A água já está acima do meu peito, para você ver a situação. Se eu andar um pouquinho aqui, deixa eu ver aqui. Ó, vou andar mais. Ó a fundura aqui, ó. Ui. Eu acho que tem um negócio aqui no fundo da água.
The next morning, divers returned to that exact spot to resume the search, and they found Raisa's body right where the journalist had been standing. A forensic examination later confirmed that Raisa had drowned and showed no signs of violence. She was buried that same evening. The journalist later admitted he was still deeply shaken, saying he came to report a story and instead made a tragic discovery. Peru, April 2023. At first, it all looked like harmless fun. A man was securely strapped into a metal contraption resembling a space training simulator, the kind seen in astronaut movies. His friends stood around laughing as he spun faster and faster, first in one direction, then the other. But after about 20 seconds, the fun turned into a nightmare.
Damn!
Under the
He
pressure
fell
of
down.
constant rotation, the metal frame began to creak, and then suddenly collapsed, right before the crowd's eyes. The entire structure gave way, and the man was thrown off the platform, plunging into a ravine below. The person recording the video screamed in horror. Just moments earlier, everyone had been laughing. Now there was panic and disbelief. Amazingly, the man survived. According to early reports, the seat and the surrounding frame to which he was strapped absorbed much of the impact, protecting his head and likely saving his life. This accident could easily have ended in tragedy, but by sheer luck, it didn't.
Nuts.
What began as a calm day on the slopes turned into a nightmare when a chairlift at the Godori Winter Resort suddenly began moving in reverse, slamming chairs into one another and sending skiers flying through the air. In just a matter of seconds, a peaceful ride turned into a desperate fight for survival. On March 16th, 2018, a tourist captured terrifying footage showing skiers being violently thrown from their chairs, while others leapt off mid-air to avoid disaster. The video shows the lift speeding backwards out of control, chairs crashing and twisting as screams echoed across the mountain. Those higher up had no choice but to jump onto the snow before it was too late. One eyewitness told CNN, "We had to jump because at the bottom it was total wreckage. There was no chance to stay alive." Each chair that reached the base crashed into the one before it, adding to the chaos. In total, 11 people were injured, 8 of whom were taken to the hospital, including a pregnant woman. Miraculously, no one was killed, and all victims were reported to be in stable condition. The cause of the malfunction remains unclear, though officials suspect a voltage surge or brake failure may have triggered the sudden reversal. Georgia's Minister of Economy announced that international experts would be brought in to investigate. Meanwhile, the rest of the resort ski lifts were cleared to resume operation without additional inspections pending the results.
This video, damn it, that shit was unbelievable. That's disturbing moments fucking recorded before disaster, you feel me? Great video. It was more darker. This was more darker than the other videos I reacted to. I mean, the other video was dark also, don't get me wrong, but it had some sort of humor. It's like, why would you know what I'm saying, stand in front of traffic and get hit by a car, like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, you know what I mean? But this right here, people was really dying. And like, damn. The lady got that got hit by a train. Very sad. At the end of it all, though, peace and out. Hold the best for y'all out there. Hope y'all win. Show some love once again. Peace.